Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where you will not find us reading any shitty poems. It's Lost in the Midcard. Welcome to this edition. Lots to talk about. We are going to talk about some headlines, some sad news, some good news in regards to the Hall of Fame, and cover this week in television. Lots to get into, but first let's thank you to SpiderDuck.net for enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard and hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Thursday and Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube. And the links to all those fine areas are on our Facebook page. Go to the notes section of facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. We're also on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers. And as always, my co-host for this evening, he is on the Twitter at RawFShowtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
I'm all right. We're the Royal Rumble's right around the corner. Hopefully the WrestleMania picture becomes a whole lot clearer, a whole lot quicker. And just kind of hoping for the best at this point.
Yeah, I think a slight improvement this week with Raw and SmackDown. I thought SmackDown was good. Raw, slight improvement, but still a lot of stank in the middle of that sandwich.
It was tolerable.
Yeah, the beginning and end were good, but in the middle was a lot of stank. That's about the best way to put it. And a terrible women's segment. Jesus Christ. We'll get into that later when we cover Raw. Comparing that women's segment to the Nikki Bella and Natalya one on SmackDown, I mean, night and day in terms of a good feud. You know, I think Charlotte and Bayley should have better than what we got, don't you think?
Well, yeah, I think they deserve better, but as long as they're on the creative team that is Raw, they're not going to get any better.
Yeah, so we'll get into Raw and SmackDown here at the end of the show. Also, my proposed WrestleMania card.
I'm so scared.
I don't know why he's scared, but
I'm terrified.
I don't know why you're terrified.
Because I remember your card last year, and it scared me to half to death.
Hell, I don't even remember my card. I don't even remember my card last year.
I'm very worried about what you brought to the table this year.
I don't even remember what I said last year. So.
Well, I remember Trevor picked my card every year, so I remember that.
Yeah, that's because he likes being wrong, but I digress.
How dare you talk to the sole proprietor of SpiderDuck.net that way?
I do what I want, if you will. Sad news, as a legend has passed away in Jimmy Snuka. Over the weekend, the WWE Hall of Famer passed away at the age of 73 following a battle with stomach cancer. Obviously, it has been in poor health for some time now, but the Fijian wrestler was in the WWE for the early 80s into the mid 80s, and then made his return around the late 80s into the early 90s before kind of a retirement, and then being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Obviously known for his high-flying style, everybody remembers probably Snuka's most signature move, the finishing move of his splash when he did it off the top of a steel cage against Don Morocco, a move that nobody had really ever seen before, which was pretty insane, so to speak, at the time. And within the WWE, oddly enough, he was in that era of the 80s where it was, Hall of Fame class of 96, but he never held a title, which was kind of interesting. But a lot of wrestlers of the 80s, a lot of wrestlers of the '80s that didn't have a chance to hold a title, but still were able to make their mark. Matt, what were your thoughts on Jimmy Snuka and his career?
I mean, he had a tremendous impact on the professional wrestling scene in the '80s before Hogan rose to prominence.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody harkens back to the Superfly splash off the top of the steel cage, which Mick Foley contributes to him being in the business today. He was a legend, man. It comes down to the fact that it's a sad state of affairs that basically all the wrestlers from my childhood are dropping like flies, and it really sucks. And I can't help but feel like once Hogan's gone, like it's gonna be like the absolute end of the golden era,
Mm-hmm.
because he's like the last main guy left. Savage is gone, Warrior's gone, Piper's gone, Snuka's gone. You know, it's just so many people from that era passing on. Mr. Perfect. Um, I just feel like Hogan will be like the closing the door in the chapter of that era, and it's just gonna really suck. Um, if it wasn't for the golden era, I wouldn't be a wrestling fan today. I mean, that era of wrestling helped launch me into becoming a wrestling fan to begin with. So
Mm-hmm.
I just think, yeah, it just sucks. Anytime somebody from that era goes, it hurts a little bit, because I grew up on those guys, and it just yeah, it sucks.
Many NWA titles held by Snuka throughout his career, most notably Eastern Championship Wrestling, which eventually would become Extreme Championship Wrestling. He was their television champion one time, and their heavyweight champion on 2 different occasions. So our condolences go out to Snuka's family, and obviously Tamina, who's on the WWE roster today, though we have not seen her in some time due to injury. So let's go on to some brighter news. The very first inductee to the WWE 2017 class of the Hall of Fame was announced, Matt, and it was a big one in Kurt Angle. All I could think of is just the possibilities of this being announced so early, to the fact that we may get some sort of angle with Kurt Angle leading up to WrestleMania.
They all no. This isn't early. This is typical. They announce the headliner the week that the tickets go on sale.
Okay.
And they always do that. Then it's like a little like a month period where they don't announce anybody, and then they go through it. I mean, do I want to see Kurt Angle in the ring at WrestleMania? Fuck yeah, I do. Is it gonna happen? I don't know. But I don't think they could have picked a better headliner for the Hall of Fame this year. Definitely out of left field. I didn't see it coming. But I love it. And Kurt Angle being back in the warm embrace of the WWE, so to speak, is great for the fans. I think, just like in terms of merchandise and video games, Angle merch and like action figures and video game appearances and T-shirts and stuff like that. Being ambassador for the company, he could do, maybe he, like when Foley goes out for the hip surgery, maybe they could bring Kurt Angle in as the general manager.
As long as he brings that cowboy hat with
him.
I
mean, there's stuff they can do. They don't want him in the ring. There's stuff they can do with Kurt Angle.
Yeah, for
sure. And so it would still be great. He's an entertaining dude. But yeah, he's going to be on ESPN this evening with the coach.
Go ahead. But between the WWE, TNA, and Japan, Angle won a total of 13 World Championships, 21 total championships. He made his debut in 1998 with the NWA. Did not take long for him to get to the WWE. The guy picked up the sport of professional wrestling rather quickly. I mean, granted, yes, he is an Olympic gold medalist in the sport of wrestling. The transition to pro wrestling is not an easy one, and Kurt Angle made it look easy. Kurt Angle basically had one of the best first years you could ever have in the WWE, so to speak. Undefeated start to his career, European champion, Intercontinental champion, and then eventually WWF champion. So lots of great memories with Kurt Angle, of course. A big catalyst in the invasion angle. Lots of comedic segments with Steve Austin, as we saw in that great tribute video. I loved that tribute video, Matt, that they showed on Monday Night Raw. That was a phenomenal video. And a great career. Hopefully, hopefully we see him maybe make one last run. He is 48 years old, but as Matt said, if it isn't in the ring, it can be outside of the ring. There's a lot of things that we can do with Kurt Angle. So, very happy to hear that Kurt Angle is going to be headlining the Hall of Fame class of 2017 with he took to Twitter on that same day that it was announced on Monday with a simple tweet saying, "I'm coming home. It's damn true." Kurt Angle also spoke with ESPN, who broke the story on Monday. And Angle said, "I was shocked. I'd been out of the WWE for a long time and out of touch with them, so I didn't really expect this. It's a huge honor. This is the only Hall of Fame I'm not in, and probably the one I want to be in the most. This is the one that means the most for me. I had a lot of fun entertaining the fans for 7 years with the WWE, and I'm glad my hard work paid off." So it's going to be a fun ride to kind of relive Kurt Angle's career leading up to WrestleMania weekend here. Lots of reaction throughout the wrestling world, of course. Jim Ross, congrats to Kurt Angle for getting into the Hall of Fame. So deserving. One of our most significant signees. Triple H, I've never seen an individual adapt and succeed in this industry so naturally. Proud to welcome Kurt Angle into the Hall of Fame. TJ Wilson, Tyson Kidd, really happy for Kurt Angle. Great guy and friend. Becky Lynch, delighted to see Kurt Angle be inducted into the Hall of Fame. One of my favorites, an absolute legend. Murphy, from Blake and Murphy, big congrats to Kurt Angle. Where he belongs. Bruce Pritchard, congrats to Kurt Angle for his announcement. Well deserved. Roddy Strong saying this is awesome. Congrats to the real Kurt Angle. Just millions of well wishes for Kurt Angle. So everybody completely happy for him, including a couple more. Taz, congrats to you, Kurt. Well deserved. And Samoa Joe, a worthy accolade for an unparalleled adversary. And for some reason, Samoa Joe's called the South Sea Strangler now, Matt. Did you notice that?
He changes his name on Twitter all the time. It means nothing.
I'm like, what is that?
He just likes to be funny.
The first main event for Supercard of Honor has been announced. It'll be Dalton Castle challenging Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Adam Cole. That'll be the first event in the Supercard of Honor, April 1st in Lakeland, Florida. Also on that April 1st show is going to be, of course, the Young Bucks taking on the Broken Hardys. So that'll be a fun one if you're going to be in the area for WrestleMania weekend. Definitely suggest that you go check that out. And if Dalton Castle defeats Adam Cole, Matt, I guess that might answer where he's going to end up when his contract runs out in April, huh?
You think?
I believe the end of April is when Adam Cole's contract runs out. So be very interesting to see what happens there. And how about Don West making his return to TNA to sell some stuff, Matt?
Hey, Anthem did something right.
Is that all that he's basically being brought in for?
I don't know, but I really hope they think it long and hard about it.
I mean, let's just go back to the good old days with Tenay and Don and get rid of the two jackasses in the booth right now. Because
put Poe back in the ring and send Josh to the unemployment line.
Yeah,
and if you must absolutely positively keep Josh employed, just make him a fucking backstage interviewer or something.
So Brock Lesnar could throw him over things. Oh. Wasn't that a great moment in our history of pro wrestling when Brock Lesnar
let Tyrus do it instead?
Yeah, when Brock Lesnar javelined Josh Matthews. Yeah, so Don West is liquidating that merchandise. Anthem's like, let's get this crap out of here. Ratings this week, Impact's audience is actually dropping. They fell down to 277,000 this week. That is they haven't seen. I mean, you gotta go all the way back to April to see a rating that low for Impact Wrestling. Outside of holidays and when they had that great Pop TV debacle, they have not had a low of a rating in 9 months. So they definitely need to kind of shake some things up and get some people back tuning in.
I feel like a lot of people read the spoilers over the course of the next few months and they said, I don't really feel the need to tune into this.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt after reading it, honestly. And I was just like, why is it so bad with Jarrett and them back? And I'm hearing that, even though Jarrett and Mantel and them were backstage, like, overseeing the show, like, they didn't have anything to do with the creative. Apparently, this was all stuff that was already planned out by Gabork and company before Anthem came in and brought these guys in and took over. But
maybe the next round of tapings
I truly feel like it was they taped a couple months of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm really not happy with the majority of the stuff that I read. It doesn't read well at all, which makes me really not that excited to go out of my way to watch it.
Well, my DVR must have read the spoilers because for some reason it didn't record Impact this week, so I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't. Honestly, mine recorded and I just deleted it.
Delete!
So yeah, I just didn't even care enough to watch it. Yeah, I was just like, I've got enough on my DVR right now to watch. Impact's not worth my time right now, and I just deleted it.
Yeah, my DVR just deleted it itself, I guess. I don't know.
Like I want Impact to be good. It's just the fact of the matter is right now it's not. Yeah. And there's nothing any of us can do about it. And, so
Total Divas dropped quite a bit. I bet it probably picks back up for the old Lana Bachelorette party, but it dropped a little bit to 584,000. Well, that's still almost triple TNA or over double a TNA. So, but probably expect that to probably bounce back to see Lana's Bachelorette party. Raw, nice bounce back for Raw this week. 3.27 million overall. A nice healthy 3.5 million for hour one. Of course, you get the typical hour 3 tail off, but all 3 hours over 3 million for the week. So a good week for Raw, and a better week for them slightly. We'll get into that a little later. And due to the holiday, Martin Luther King Day, no SmackDown numbers just yet.
Everything's a day behind.
Yep. Yeah, Raw actually just came out late this afternoon. So, coming off of the WoW match of the year, probably, it's going to be up there. Matt and I both tuned in to Access TV. Matt watching it again, me for the first time. Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada. Goddamn, Matt, that was fuck.
I knew you'd like it.
Longest ever IWGP heavyweight match in history. I believe clocked in at about 47 minutes overall. Just wow. Go get it. And hearing Jim Ross on the call with Josh Barnett was they make a great team if you haven't seen them before together. So go out of your way to check that out if you get to. I'm sure Access replays that quite a bit. Matt, do you know?
Normally I don't know how often they actually replay that. I mean, I know they replay it later on that Friday night, like after it originally airs.
And then the next week, right before the new one?
Yeah, you're right. They might replay it like at 7 p.m. on Friday before the new episode airs this week.
And this wasn't just a one-off Wrestle Kingdom show in the main event. They're going to now show some more Wrestle Kingdom matches over the next couple of weeks, it sounds like.
Yep, absolutely.
And obviously, we reported on Lost in the Midcard a few weeks ago that Access is looking into a quicker turnaround time for New Japan. Right now, my only way of accessing Access TV is Sling TV. I'm actually paying for Sling and cable right now, but that's all right. The Sling paid for itself when they sent me the wrong Roku box, so thank you for that. But I was happy that I had Sling so I could watch this match here on Friday night. A true classic, and unlike not in typical Bullet Club fashion style, I mean the Bucks really didn't get involved, did they, Matt?
No, they didn't get involved at all.
No, they were at ringside, and that was it. God, that the table spot, Omega going through the table, man, and
Sick.
yeah, like
Absolutely
what was it?
sick.
4 Rainmakers that Omega ate before we finally got pinned.
Yeah, it was. I didn't count, but it was quite a few.
I think Omega did he hit, he
He
finally
never
hit the
he
one.
never hit the one.
He
Wing
never
Angel.
hit. He did hit a Rainmaker.
They did put his finisher over, being as the fact that he never actually got to hit it, and what would have happened if he did, in terms of like that. So
of course, everybody talking. We reported last week Omega taking some time off. ESPN talked to Triple H about Kenny Omega because obviously there are rumblings that he may be in the Rumble, which would be fucking awesome. But they asked him about Kenny Omega, and Triple H said, as far as Kenny Omega goes, I'm just interested in talent, period. If somebody is talented as a performer and they want to come work for the WWE, if they want to come to the largest platform in the world where they can truly show what they can do on a global basis, the WWE is a choice for them. If they want to come and work for us, then they're very talented, then I'm interested in talking to them across the board. To me, anytime anybody questions me on talent, am I interested in them? The fact is that your question me means that person is probably pretty talented. So yes, I'm interested. Well put, Trips. What do you think? You think a big Omega surprise at the Rumble?
no,
He
can't. The Royal Rumble's on the 29th. He's contracted to do Japan through the 31st. He cannot be at the Royal Rumble. People really need to let the Rumble Kenny Omega fantasy go because it can't happen. That's why New Japan signed people through the end of January this year instead of the beginning of January like they had with everybody else.
Yeah.
They're just, it's not going to happen. What is Omega coming in? Maybe. It could happen. But it ain't happening at the Royal Rumble.
He's also scheduled for an event in Chile the night before the Rumble too. So,
yeah, like anybody that thinks he's going to be a part of the Royal Rumble is out of their damn mind. Honestly, the only way they could even have him appear is if he appeared front row, as a ticket holder. I guess they might be able to get away with that. I don't even know if they can get away with that without New Japan flipping their shit.
Yeah.
Because he technically can't sign a contract until, his contract with NJPW is done. So, yeah, it would be really cool to see Kenny Omega at the Royal Rumble, but it's not going to happen, guys. We're just going to have to, if Kenny's coming in, it will be post-Royal Rumble.
We saw Steve Corino on Ring of Honor television this week, but we can also say that he is now officially working as a coach in the Performance Center for the WWE. He officially departed Ring of Honor on 12/31 when his contract expired. So I wonder when the next round of Ring of Honor tapings finally kick in.
They taped over the weekend. That's how you know the finals of the tournament.
So probably 2 weeks then, I'd say. So I know maybe 3. Shoot, might be. I don't know how far out because I know next week is the semifinals. They're gonna do one semifinal match at least. So
all they had to tape this weekend was one semifinals match and the finals. So I mean they were taped up to that point previously.
Okay, so probably 2 weeks or a week from Saturday is probably when the next round of tapings will start on TV. Another departure from TNA. Marty Bell is now gone. Her deal has expired, and she has left TNA. Most notably was in The Dollhouse, but not used in the last few TV tapings. So,
TNA's women's division's really going to shit again.
Yeah, it has. Well, it's been shit for a while, but
yeah, but it's seemingly getting worse.
But we could transition into the from that story to maybe where she might appear next. because Triple H is everywhere nowadays, it seems like.
That's what I do.
Fox Sports Wrestling Compadres podcast, Triple H confirmed there are plans for a women's tournament. They're just looking for the right place, time to hold the tournament. They're currently looking to do it this summer. So there is going to be a women's tournament, and hey, there you go. You got somebody that can go grab now with Marty Bell. Jerry Lawler,
silly not to.
Yeah, exactly. Jerry Lawler on Talking Smack announced that he will be calling the Royal Rumble match with Michael Cole and Corey Graves, so that'll be pretty cool. And I don't know. Have you seen the rumor that Cole's thinking, or that Cole might be stepping away from on camera? Did you see that rumor?
Yeah, I've seen the rumor. I mean, I don't know if I believe it or not. So
I don't know.
It doesn't matter because whoever's the head behind Raw is gonna have Vince screaming in the ear the entire time anyway. So whoever's the main guy on Raw is gonna suck anyway. Yeah. It was clear over the weekend when we watched the UK tournament with Nigel and Cole. Cole was good. Cole and Nigel were a really good broadcast team. It's amazing what can happen when Vince isn't screaming in your damn ear.
I didn't get a chance to watch that yet, but I heard it was pretty damn good.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic, and shame on you for not seeing it yet.
Yeah, I wasn't around much this weekend, so. NXT this week kicks off with some sanity. Nikki Cross took on a lady by the name of Kennedy Lewis. That didn't last too long. With the Fisherman swinging neckbreaker for the win for Nikki Cross, who is going to be one of the 4 ladies in the fatal 4-way match for the women's NXT championship at TakeOver San Antonio. They go to a commercial after the first match, come back, and No Way Jose is asked about 2017. He says it'll be a fiesta outside the ring with his friends. It'll be a fiesta in the ring. Kona Reeves says Jose knows nothing about friendship. You came out to help Rich Swann in Toronto when Sanity attacked. Jose says Kona can meet him in the ring and they can have fun or fight. So looks like they're gonna kind of get Kona Reeves in there a little more regularly this year for NXT, and that's a good thing. I think Kona Reeves has a lot of potential, so it'd be good to see what they have in store. The Revival backstage. Dash said 2016 was the year of Revival. 2017 will be their year again, and says that DIY is holding the titles for them. They demand a triple threat match in San Antonio with the Authors of Pain and DIY. And that's when TM61 shows up and says, you got to fight to get a title match. And Dash saying they don't have to fight because they are the best. And that's going to set up a match later on between those 2 tag teams. Roddy Strong coming out, taking on Steve Cutler. And as we had mentioned, of course, after quickly dispatching of Steve Cutler, he's asked about the comments from Andre Cien Almas, saying that he's next on Almas's list. And he says he does not care. He came here for a reason, and that was the NXT Championship. And later on in the show, they do announce officially that Roddy Strong will take on Andrade Cien Almas at the TakeOver San Antonio pay-per-view. Ember Moon is asked about the women's division, and Liv Morgan shows up, and then basically says that they're basically going for the same thing, the women's title. And they said to avoid being brats like Billy and Peyton, they should prove that there's plenty of competition in the women's division after San Antonio. That kind of sets up a match that they're going to have, I believe, next week. Ty Dillinger makes his way out to the ring and says that last year ended with a big question mark. And Ty's been asking himself what's next. And the crowd chanted Perfect 10 Royal Rumble, Matt. I think they were trying to send him a message, huh?
Yeah, it was definitely a message. So, I mean, that's what everybody wants. But I mean...
That means Vince won't do it.
Yeah, of course. So, fuck Vince.
Well, I don't care, pal. Ty asking, questioning himself if he's got it anymore, and asks if he's still perfect. That's when Sanity's music plays again as they make their way to the ring. Eric Young has a jacket in hand, and he says, "You don't have it, but you could have it. You could have everything. You just need some guidance. You just need to make the right choices and pick the right path. You have to pick the right friends." And Eric gives the jacket to Alexander Wolf, and he presents it to Ty. Ty just throws it onto the floor. Eric calmly gets the jacket and gets in the ring and says, "The right decision can sometimes feel wrong. I get it. The right choice can be unclear. I've been in that spot before." He goes, "This year can be everything you want. You can have everything. You just have to choose to make it perfect." He hands Ty the jacket once more. And Eric says that he just wants to make it clear he is not asking. Ty drops the jacket again and punches Eric Young. Wolf comes in the ring. Ty kind of has an upper hand until Big Damo comes and hits a sick freaking move. I don't know what the hell that was, Matt. Was that like a Michinoku driver kind of variation?
Something like that. I mean, yeah, definitely a variation.
Woo! That thing was brutal. Young hands the jacket to Damo. Damo puts it over his shoulder. So it is official. Of course, we're expecting it anyways, but Big Damo going to be joining Sanity. They do announce that Ty Dillinger, Eric Young will face off at TakeOver. Shane Thorne, Nick Miller, TM61, they took on the Revival. And pretty decent match from those guys. Inside Cradle kind of gets the surprise win for TM61, and then after the match, the Revival beat the shit out of TM61. Kind of play like a knee injury type of deal on Shane Thorne. So we'll see where that goes from there. Then we get ourselves, Matt, the contract signing between Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura, and how glorious was this face-off between these two gentlemen?
It was honestly, like without all the stupid plunder and attacks and all that, I think it was one of the best contract signings I've seen in a long time. They were both perfect. I was already hyped for the match. I'm even more hyped now. I thought they killed it. So
Bobby said himself, this is going to be a fight tonight, you know?
Yeah, but normally they always say that and it turns into one. So
no, Bobby's a man of his word. Both guys did a phenomenal. I fully expect this feud. I mean, this feud needs to go more than 2 weeks. This, I think, is going to carry over to WrestleMania weekend. I think. I don't know if it's going to be a Rude win in San Antonio and a feud all the way to TakeOver, or somehow, maybe Rude gets beat, but pisses off Shinsuke, beats him up or something to the point where Shinsuke challenges him at TakeOver Orlando. I'm not sure how all that's going to play out. I just have a feeling this is too good of a dream match to just have a couple weeks of build-up. So do you feel that way too, Matt?
I have no idea. I know there's a lot of people out there that already expect Nakamura to lose to Rude and show up in the Royal Rumble the next night. I wouldn't go that far. But hell, if they've got a decent plan for Nakamura for WrestleMania and they want to implement it, what better way to do it than have him title to Rude the night before and show up in the Rumble the next night?
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to happen, but I guarantee there'd be a lot of people happy.
Yeah, I honestly don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. I mean, I think if Nakamura left NXT, I think they would still be in good hands. So, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what Shinsuke wants, and I don't know what the WWE wants. Because Balor, he wanted to stay in NXT for quite a while, and he did. So I don't know if Shinsuke feels the same way, or if he's just going with the flow, and if he appears in the Rumble, oh shit, man, mark out City, huh? I made my return to 205 Live this week, and glad I did because I thought it was a great show. I enjoyed it. I thought Drew Gulak, Cedric Alexander was good. I had been getting annoyed with the Alicia Fox and Noam Dar thing, but I think this week it was pretty cool. I didn't mind it as much. It was just more of Foxy getting crazy and Dar getting slapped and getting turned on by it. But when we go back to the ring, obviously the attack kind of got the best of Cedric Alexander. Worked on the knee, Gulak did. After the 2-on-1 beatdown before the match even began, and of course the knee affected Alexander as he tried to go for the lumbar check and couldn't get Gulak up, and then Gulak hit the Saito suplex with a bridge for the 3 count. So Drew Gulak is your winner there. Did you enjoy that first match on 205 Live, Matt?
Yeah, I thought it was good. It had decent storyline progress and whatnot with what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just continue to wait and see where it all goes. With crazy Alicia Fox.
There were times I was getting tired of the whole thing, but yeah, like you just said, the progression this week was nice. It made sense. It carried over into the match. The match was still good with Alexander at a disadvantage, and you know what? I thought overall it was good. They did a bit of some vignettes between Neville and Rich Swann. Pretty good stuff there to set up their Cruiserweight Championship match at the Royal Rumble. They interviewed Tony Nese, asking about his opponent Mustafa Ali. So he kind of basically does his premier athlete gimmick about how he's better than everybody. And they are the second match of the evening, and this was a pretty damn good match too between Mustafa Ali and Tony Nese. So yeah, for a while in the cruiserweight division, Matt, Nese and Gulak were kind of getting the short end of the stick, but now they're turning in some wins, aren't they?
Yeah, better late than never, right?
We got a video package for Akira Tozawa. Hopefully, these video packages don't last as long as Emelina.
Well, at least each one of these have been different.
True. This one, this time, Apollo Crews talked about Tozawa's charisma. Says, watch out for them strikes because they hurt. He comes out with fire and passion. He's had some tough competition in the past. He's going to look forward to who's next for him. And then that led into our main event of the evening, the I Forfeit match between Arya Daivari and Jack Gallagher. And Matt, what did you think of the main event of 205 Live this week?
I thought it was great. Great gimmick match. I thought they closed out the feud perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Gallagher's a star.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what's next for the Extraordinary Gentlemen, because it was very clear that this was the end of their feud with the I Forfeit match.
Well, that was part of the agreement in the parlay. Is it's done and over with, no more. I thought it was phenomenal, and sometimes with I've quit matches, it gets a little annoying with the ref asking way too much. I think ref asking was about the right pace here. It didn't get annoying for me at all. I loved Daivari bringing the headdress as a weapon, tying up Gallagher, and my God, Gallagher's freaking flexible. How he got out of that. I think Austin Aries said it best, Houdini-like. And of course we had William make an appearance, the Umbrella, and then William the Second, and then William the Third. I wonder how many Williams are in the family, Matt. I don't know. But lots of umbrellas involved in the match. But in the end, Daivari had caught Gallagher with the Cobra stretch, which he's been using lately, and he refused to give up. Gallagher reaches for that William III umbrella, hits Daivari, and then applies a cross-face chicken wing using the umbrella, which made Daivari tap out. I was kind of thinking how it would end, Matt, was like he would wrap the umbrella handle around Daivari's neck and like use the ring post as a leverage. I thought that was kind of how it was going to end. But I thought it was pretty interesting how he implemented William into a chicken wing. And like I said, I missed the last couple weeks of 205 Live. Been kind of not been able to catch everything I want to see. I'm very glad I caught this one because I was excited for the I Forfeit match, and the other two matches were pretty damn good. I just wish they got better treatment on Raw, Matt.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
Ring of Honor this week. The Decade of Excellence tournament continues, and but first off, we get a what the hell is that group's name again? Not the Cabinet, but now they're the
Oh, I don't freaking know nor care, dude.
the Jabronis. We'll just call them the Jabronis. How about that?
I didn't even see ROH this weekend, so you're on your own on this one.
I'm drawing a blank right now what they're freaking called, and yeah, I don't really care right now. They took on Jay White, Leo Rush, and Donovan Dijak in a 6-man tag. Good guys got the win there. What they are teasing here is that whatever group this is with Kenny King and Caprice Coleman and Rhett Titus, they're trying to get Leo Rush to join the group. Cody Rhodes comes out to the ring. Great promo by Cody Rhodes. He said that I think we got off on the wrong foot at Final Battle. Well, that was kind of funny. He goes, "You were under the impression that you were thinking you were going to judge me. Nobody judges me. I'm here to judge each and every one of you." And he goes, "Walking out of the ballroom, the Hammerstein in New York, there was a foul, putrid, obnoxious smell that was under my nose. I didn't know what it was until I realized, oh, it's mediocrity. Ring of Honor my ass. It's more like a ring of mediocrity." Good stuff from Cody. Which then somebody in the crowd yells, "Where's Brandy?" or "Bring out Brandy." And Cody actually he turned around pretty quickly, didn't say anything. Good big pop from the Philadelphia crowd at the 2300 arena, and he goes, "You don't deserve to see her." And the lights go out, and Steve Corino in his ring gear is answering the call. Of course, at Final Battle, Cody Rhodes pushed Steve Corino down when he was commentating with Kevin Kelly. The odd thing about Steve Corino, Kevin Sullivan, Punishment Martinez, and BJ Whitmer joined him on the stage, which was kind of interesting. That Evil he kind of joined Evil, which would probably be one of his last appearances before leaving the company.
Probably was his last appearance.
Yeah. Cody goes, told Corino, goes, "He's taller than I thought he'd be. King of old school. Where's your crown?" And Cody asks, "Do you remember what you told Dusty Rhodes in 1999? You said you had no respect for him and never did. You told him to look him in your eyes." Cody goes, "It's apropos that I get to say that I have no respect for you. I never did." And Corino goes, I loved your dad. Dusty was a hero. The American dream paved the road for Steve Corino to be in this ring this moment. Steve says his father once said Genghis Khan had 2 sons and one of them needs to be sacrificed. He's going to give Cody a choice, either you or your brother. And Cody slaps Corino, and that begins the match. Pretty decent match there with Corino and Cody Rhodes. But as Corino was getting the golden spike to drive through Cody Rhodes, the referee stopped him from doing so. That distraction allowed Cody to kick Corino in the ding-ding, hit the beautiful disaster, and the crossroads for the 1-2-3. After the match, Jay Lethal came to the ring and started attacking Cody, and Cody ran to the floor and went through the crowd and escaped. And I thought it was kind of funny when Jay Lethal called him Cody Rhodes. I bet Ring of Honor management was like, "Eh!" So I'm gonna guess the Cody and Jay feud is not quite over yet, especially now that Jay's re-signed. But the way it kind of went down at Final Battle, Matt, makes sense, right? To continue that feud.
Yeah, I guess it's not going anywhere. Lethal's sticking around. To be
Eh,
honest, it's really not a feud I'm very much looking forward to.
why do you
Um,
say that?
I didn't think they had that great of a match at Final Battle, and I really wasn't interested in seeing it again. Some guys just don't click, and I didn't feel like Cody and Lethal really clicked in having like a great, Reign of Honor style match. Rather Lethal would have moved on. I think he made a mistake by staying there another 2 years. I really do.
I mean, you and I have said it many times. What's there left for him to do?
Well,
But
it seems like Adam Cole has realized that. Let's hope. Let's hope I'm right.
hey, Jay Lethal's out there, so let's have that main event. And speaking of guys that click, Lethal and Liger was a phenomenal match. Loved it. But to nobody's surprise, Jay Lethal gets the lethal injection and will go on to face Jay Briscoe in the semifinals of the Decade of Excellence tournament. After the match, Jay Lethal picks up Liger, offers his hand. Liger says, "Brothers hug," and they got a big hug and a bow of respect and a pretty cool way to end Ring of Honor this week. Next week, second round matchup will be on Ring of Honor television with Christopher Daniels taking on Chris Sabin. Did you watch Impact this week or this past week, Matt?
We both agreed that we didn't.
Oh, that's right. You said you deleted it. I forgot.
I deleted it.
Delete. There was a last man standing match with Bobby Lashley and Ethan Carter III. Looks like Eli Drake and Tyrus are maybe a thing now. I think Tyrus was his partner at the one night only pay per view too.
The amount of fucks I give.
Yeah, Spud. Yeah, I mean, come on, put Eli Drake by himself in the main event. Dummy. Yeah. Looks like there was some ridiculous. I don't know. Something looked ridiculous with Spud came out in a sailor suit. Aaron Rex came out wearing a fur coat. I guess he has new entrance music.
Yeah, I don't care.
Robbie E came out. Swoggle came out. Yeah,
Why are we talking about this?
That just looked like a hot mess. Decay took on DCC. Mike Bennett took on Braxton Sutter. Main event was the Broken Hardys and the Wolves for the TNA.
I'm sure that was good, but
tag match, yeah. And looks like maybe a split is brewing. Of course, we talked about the spoiler, but at the end of the match, Davey Richards pissed, walks away from Eddie when he was trying to talk to him. So basically, they're teasing the Wolves breakup right there. Monday Night Raw is live from Little Rock, Arkansas. And Roman Reigns starts the show with a lot of booze. And Matt, did you see the video where they compared this one guy in the crowd's reaction to Reigns losing the U.S. title, and then when they replayed it this week? Did you see that video?
Yeah, I think that was very shady tactics by WWE's production team.
No kidding. The dude, an older gentleman, was jumping up and down at the fact that Jericho won his first ever United States Championship, much like we were. But on the replay of that handicap match, he looked upset, didn't he, Matt?
I just think it's kind of shitty. It's kind of a shitty thing to do. I'm sure you could have found another disappointed look to, put on there instead of making the guy, anybody remembered the guy jumping up and down because it was a moment.
Yeah.
You remember the lunatic fan jumping up and down. And then you look back, like the replay, you're like, that looks like the same guy who was excited. This doesn't make any sense. It's just a bad look.
It's Vince trying to rewrite history, basically, right? Make his golden boy look good. I mean, this is why they boo Roman Reigns, people. They shouldn't, but they do because of things like this. And yeah, that was just utterly ridiculous. Roman Reigns started the show talking about how he couldn't complain about losing a fight since he was outnumbered. Um, Reigns then shortly gets interrupted by the amazing Paul Heyman, ladies and gentlemen. I love Heyman's reaction, how he gets pissed off when the crowd starts chanting Goldberg. It's kind of crazy how Brock went from this baby face to now people are booing him now, and I kind of attribute that just to the greatness of Paul Heyman to be able to mold the situation and get you to do what he wants. I think Paul Heyman is just brilliant at that. He said the Royal Rumble is going to go like this: eat, sleep, elimination, repeat. Then Kevin Owens comes out with Chris Jericho, and they bragged how they're now both the Universal United States Champion. And so then, oh look, Seth Rollins comes out. Matt, it's the same four guys that have main evented Raw since July, right? But thankfully, we got some other guys in there as Strowman came in. And then Brock Lesnar's music hit, and everybody lost their shit. Sami Zayn showed up and tried to give a sleeper hold to Strowman, but that didn't quite work. All sorts of melees breaking out. The ring kind of cleared for the Lesnar-Strowman showdown as Vince was oiling himself up. But Strowman backs down. Reigns came in with a Superman punch on Lesnar. Owens and Jericho went in the ring, and Reigns knocked them down as well. Lesnar gets back up and hits an F5 on Roman Reigns, and Lesnar's music plays to end the opening segment. Pretty good opening segment. You like that, Matt?
Yeah, I thought the opening segment was fire. I was kind of hyped up afterwards. I'm like, well, we got a good opening to the show in the first time in a long time. So let's hope they put on a great show, and didn't really get what I was hoping for. So
yeah, we give you a good opening, and we're gonna follow it up with Jinder Mahal.
That's your boy.
Enzo Cass took on Rusev and Jinder Mahal. Basically saying Enzo's finally back to health to be able to wrestle again. So they have this match here. Bada boom shakalaka, 9 minutes. And Jinder Mahal is just there so he can take the pin. Hopefully that's the end of this.
You can only hope.
Jack Gallagher joins the commentary team as Ari Daivari took on Lince Dorado. Hey, look, Divas treatment, 3 minutes, as he made Lince tap out with the Cobra submission, the Cobra stretch. God, come on. I mean, look at 205 Live. Look at the lengthy great matches we had. Can you at least give them 10 minutes, Matt? Right?
Well, apparently not, sir. Apparently not.
They talked about the Taker returning to the Royal Rumble. They showed a package of the UK tournament with the winner of the first United Kingdom champion, Tyler Bate. Matt, what were your thoughts on the finals there with with Tyler Bate winning?
It was storylined perfectly throughout the weekend for him to win, and I think the right guy won. I thought it was a great overall tournament, and seriously, I don't want to dive too deeply into it since you haven't seen it yet, but I will say that you need to go out of your way to watch that as soon as possible.
I believe Mark Andrews made the final four. Was that right?
Yeah, he fought Dunn in the semis, and they tore the house down. That was probably my favorite match of the tournament.
The one name we noticed, Mark Andrews. So cool to see him do well. They showed a thing from earlier in the day. I believe this was on Facebook Live or something, showing Sasha doing tests, checking out her bad knee. Then Nia Jax showed up and beat her up. Raw Tag Team Championships on the line. Sheamus and Cesaro against Gallows and Anderson. I asked Matt, do you have a good feeling about this one? And he goes, I hope. And, well, I mean, at least they didn't disappoint in giving us they gave us a good match, Matt, at least.
Yeah, I guess.
But the shit finish, I guess we should have saw it coming, right? Sheamus accidentally punches John Cone. And Gallows and Anderson hit the Magic Killer on Cesaro, and the second ref came in, and oh yeah, we're all expecting a kick out because of how long it took. No, 1, 2, 3. Your new tag team champions are. Oops, never mind. John Cone woke up and disqualified Cesaro,
which is so fucking stupid.
Because how many times does this happen? Think about it.
Because if I'm the ref and I get punched out by the tag team champions, okay? And I wake back up and I just see that they lost the titles, I'm like, all right, I'm cool with that. The fucker punched me in the face. I'm going to let him lose the title. I'm not going to be like, oh, no, he punched me, so I'm going to disqualify him and let him keep the champion. Like, logically, it's just really stupid fucking booking that just is beyond stupid. I absolutely hated it.
And how many times does the ref accidentally get nailed and there is no DQ? Right? They showed a highlight package for Superfly Snuka and showed a bunch of tweets from various personalities within the WWE, from The Rock, Mick, Charlotte, Triple H, all the way through to Tamina. Pretty good tribute. Hey, Emelina's coming.
Maybe.
She'll be worth the wait.
Maybe.
What do you think of Sami Zayn being a little too excited with the Shield in the locker room there, Matt?
I didn't like it. It made him look like a goober.
It did. It did.
Yeah, not a fan.
Supposed to get Tony Nese and Rich Swann, but Neville attacks Swann before the match can even begin. And then Tony Nese joins in the fun, but Neville's like, no, I don't want you to join in the fun. So he threw Nese out of the ring. I continue to like the heel turn of Neville. Neville's been... I didn't even know he would be a good heel. I don't know. Was he... do you know if he was he a heel when he was Pac?
I believe he was.
Okay.
At a point. Like, I don't think he was always a heel, but I believe he was heel at a point. And he showed heel tendencies in his feud with Sami Zayn down in NXT.
He did.
They just never fully, pushed the trigger on it.
Yeah.
So...
And now he's acting like someone pissed in his Cheerios 24/7. Cheerios. I think that's going to be a phenomenal match at the Royal Rumble. I hope they give them 15 minutes. I don't know if they will, but especially when you have a match in there that goes 60 minutes. You gotta have it. More crap with the New Day and Titus O'Neil. Before
Please,
we got...
No more. I'm fucking begging you. No more of this shit.
Before that, though...
Stop it.
Before that, they talked about the Royal Rumble and how if one of them wins the Royal Rumble, they all win the Royal Rumble. No, I don't think the Freebird rule works like that, boys. But Titus O'Neil basically challenged Big E to a match winner. If Titus won, he would take Big E's spot in the Rumble. And I was like, I had a bad feeling, Matt. I was like, they're just gonna fucking do this, aren't they? Thank God they didn't. Big E won after 4 minutes.
There was. You actually thought there was a chance? No.
Vince.
No.
Hello, it's Vince.
Not with Titus O'Neil. Not with Titus O'Neil. Maybe with somebody else.
Not really gonna break this segment down. Just gonna say the Charlotte Bayley thing was completely terrible.
Yeah,
Matt, you agree?
Honestly, I don't even want to talk about it.
It was terrible.
It was so bad, and I don't want to give it any time. And anybody that knows me knows how much I I love and appreciate the women's division. But I don't want to give that segment like any time whatsoever.
It was terrible.
So
What Natty and Nikki did, and later on Alexa and Becky, a trillion times better than what this shit was. It was terrible.
it continues to show that Vince and the creative team that handles Monday Night Raw doesn't know how to book their women.
They don't know how to book much.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, women is a very shining example that they don't know how to book them.
At least they know how to book Strowman. I mean, because we've been actually enjoying him.
Of course they know how to book Strowman because Vince loves Strowman. Of course he does.
So there's another segment with Strowman, Owens, and Jericho backstage talking about their strategy leading up to the 6-man tag match.
Think they know how to book me? Ha! I know how to book my monsters, pal.
Yeah, Strowman's a pretty good talker too, so I'm impressed with that old Strowman guy. I liked at the end when Owens and Jericho said "good talk" after Strowman walked off. Good talk, good talk. Cedric Alexander comes out, nice little pop for him. They kind of showed what was going on with him and Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. Cedric took on Brian Kendrick. Wow, Matt, they got 5 minutes here. Vince probably took a shit, didn't realize what the clock. Looking at the clock. But Cedric Alexander wins with the lumbar check. This was funny. Fox gets in the ring to applaud Cedric, and she goes for the hug, and Cedric with a nice little duck under the hug. That was a nice maneuver, pal. We get to see more crazy Alicia Fox, or is it Alicia Fox?
It definitely seems like we're getting more crazy Alicia Fox because it seems like once a year Vince decides to bring that storyline back in some way, shape, or form, and we're clearly getting it right now. So,
well, as long as she doesn't clock anybody in the face accidentally with a Kleenex box, right?
Oh boy.
Of course, next up was the announcement of Kurt Angle, the great Hall of Fame inductee video. Go check it out on WWE.com or WWE's YouTube. Very awesome, well put together thing on Kurt Angle there. And they even highlight some of the funny stuff that he did too. Next week, Raw is in Cleveland, Ohio, and Goldberg will be back. I hear Brock's there too, but they didn't mention him. Obviously, it's the go-home show, so imagine if Goldberg, Lesnar, and Taker in the ring at the same time, Matt.
They very well could. I wouldn't do that the week before the Rumble, but they very well could go ahead and do that.
So this was basically a Raw was a shit sandwich this week. The buns, the beginning and end were good, but the filling in the sandwich was shit. Because the 6-man tag match with Jericho, Owens, and Strowman against Zayn, Rollins, and Reigns, I thought was good. You agree, Matt?
Yeah, the main event was fine. I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, I already knew who was taking the pinfall before it even started.
Gee.
You know.
Yeah, it was Braun Strowman was taking it, right?
Oh yeah.
Strowman hit the running power slam. I get him a new finisher, but at least this one's a safe finisher. So, but I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I don't know. What do you think, Matt? Should Strowman get a new finisher?
Probably. But I mean, I can't think of anything off the top of my head of what to tell him to switch to right now. So
maybe 450 splash.
Will you stop?
After the main event ended, all sorts of hell broke loose. It was a fun little chaotic scene, and in the end, Kevin Owens power bombing Roman Reigns through the announce table. I thought this was kind of a cool way to end the story. or in the day. Makes me feel better about Owens winning too, because if this happened on Raw next week, Matt, I would have kind of been like, oh shit. But I feel a little better about Owens winning now after getting this beatdown out of the way now. You agree?
I'm honestly not sure what to expect. This match honestly worries me quite a bit in terms of the road to WrestleMania, what they're planning to do. I keep hearing rumblings of Jericho versus Owens, and I really just don't have any interest in them doing that. But you might get what you don't want anyway. So I don't know.
SmackDown Live this week, Memphis, Tennessee, home of the Jerry the King Lawler. So we're gonna have a King's Court segment with Lawler, and his guest will be Dolph Ziggler. Shane McMahon kicks off the show and mentions some of the competitors in the Royal Rumble, and then said in 4 weeks' time, February 12th, WWE Championship will be defended inside the Elimination Chamber. That prompted AJ Styles to come out and complain because A, he's never been in the Elimination Chamber. B, he's got to face 5 other guys. So he wasn't too happy about that. John Cena came out.
Oh, joy.
Cena was getting ready to talk, and I love this part. Styles grabbed the mic, or held the mic down and said, just shut up. Since his brother,
every wrestling fan on the planet wishes they could say to John Cena, just shut up.
Since his brother-in-law gifted him a title match, which basically is what happened, right?
I completely agree.
I mean, I'd like to lose 3 matches and then go for the title. I mean, I don't know. Miz came out with the sexy Maurice, and Miz talks about how he's going to win the Royal Rumble or the Elimination Chamber. One or the other. Either way, he's going to be a dual champion after he gets his title back from Ambrose as well. Styles said to Miz, the best thing he could do is stay away from him and the Elimination Chamber. Miz mocked Styles, saying that while he was out growing out his hair to become America's next top soccer mom, he was beating John Cena before beating up John Cena was cool. And little back and forth between the Miz and AJ Styles, with, of course, John Cena kind of goading the two. That led to a match between AJ Styles and the Miz that went about 10 minutes. Before all hell broke loose when basically Styles punched Cena. That kind of just caused a DQ there. So not much, but I think I kind of liked what I saw out of the AJ Styles and the Miz. I think they worked well in the ring together, Matt, for the 10 minutes that we saw there. You agree?
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't get a finish, because that's my SmackDown main event for WrestleMania.
Yep. And of course, Cena AA'd everybody, because that's what Cena does. Nikki Bella enters for a promo. So it says she's here to finish what they started last week, and Natalya was actually up the stairs in the crowd, and she decided to go to the merchandise stand and complain that all there was Nikki Bella and John Cena stuff, and there was some Bret Hart stuff, and what was the line that Natalya said? Like, he's gonna die alone?
Both her and Nikki Bella will die alone.
Yeah, that was a little harsh.
Yeah, I didn't really care for it. And, it is what it is. Yeah, I'm sure. I would like to believe that Bret approved it.
Well, yeah, because Bret did his support for Nikki on Twitter thing, and I think
yeah, but he did that well before the storyline started.
Oh, did he? I thought it was.
No, it was well before the storyline started, at least a couple weeks prior.
Oh, so it was kind of a thing that kind of set Natalya off then. Nikki shows up and they have a pretty cool brawl in the merch area and around the floor until security breaks it up. Great stuff here, Matt. I enjoyed it. So I've come around on this feud a lot more. I thought this was the best segment of this feud so far, Matt. I really enjoyed it. Same for you?
Yeah, no, I'm digging it all right. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
It's better than Poems, right?
Well, dude, anything's better than what they're doing on Raw.
Dummy, yeah. Alexa Bliss is interviewed by Dasha Fuentes. She called Becky Lynch the human Chucky doll. Bliss said that when she walks out the cage as champion, the look on Becky Lynch's face will be something that no one will ever forget. They replayed the Kurt Angle induction video for the Hall of Fame. Dean Ambrose makes his way to the ring. Backstage segment early on in SmackDown. Ambrose wanted to fight the Wyatts because of the attack they laid out on him a few weeks prior. And Shane says, okay, we'll have you in a match with Bray Wyatt. And he goes, no, I want to take out the Viper. So it sets up Dean Ambrose against Randy Orton. First time in 2 years that these guys squared off. And so a nice fresh matchup. And Matt, I thought it was a hell of a match.
Yeah, anytime these two get in the ring together, they work well. And I didn't think this was any exception. I thought they had a great match, and Luke Harper continuing to do dumb Luke Harper things.
Yeah, we all saw that coming,
continues to set up the dissension within the Wyatt family.
Yeah, we all kind of saw that coming, didn't we?
Well, they don't like each other. It's clear that Harper and Orton don't like each other. And a lot of people speculate, or from what Harper said, that Orton joined the Wyatt family to tear it apart from within. And if that's the case, I'm sure, I guess that's going to mean we're going to get Orton and Bray at WrestleMania. Rather wouldn't have had that rather than gone a different route. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think it's heading that direction. And next week on SmackDown,
I just feel like if it isn't leading to a Bray Wyatt win, I really just don't feel like it's worthwhile doing.
No.
Orton does, no offense to Orton, but Orton's made, man.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He doesn't need another win at WrestleMania, and Bray could desperately use one. So I was kind of hoping they would still be tagging together or whatnot. When WrestleMania came along, but that certainly doesn't seem to be the case right now.
One of my things that I was kind of hoping for when they were attacking Ambrose was that maybe it would lead to the Shield reunion to take on Orton, Harper, and Wyatt at WrestleMania. I thought that would be maybe, as a pipe dream, but I thought that would be kind of a cool thing. But yeah, I don't think we're getting that for sure. So it's definitely not on my card. So. But Dean Ambrose, due to all that distraction with Harper, got a roll up on Randy Orton after a good 15-minute match though between the two gentlemen. So great stuff there. They announced that Bray got on the screen later on SmackDown, announced that they're gonna have a fight between Randy Orton and Luke Harper, and once they are finished, the family will become stronger. Oh, you buy that, Matt?
Nope. Not at all.
Dasha interviewed Becky Lynch, and Lynch says she never runs from a fight, so she knows who she is. Lynch said, we'll find out who Alexa is inside the cage, and it won't be champion. Next up is the King's Court with Dolph Ziggler. Welcome back, Jerry the King Lawler. Been too long. Basically, Ziggler or King kind of basically ran down Ziggler's misfortunes as of late, and the fact that he knew that Ziggler's a good guy, but he hasn't been doing good guy things lately. And King kept asking him questions, and Ziggler would continue to stand there in silence and act like he was going to leave, and Lawler begged him to say something. And Ziggler finally spoke, saying that he knew Lawler would try to make him look bad and dirty his name in Lawler's own hometown of Memphis. They showed the footage of the chair attacks that Ziggler did last week on Cruz and Kalisto. Ziggler goes, "I got footage myself," and showed the September 2012 match that involved both Lawler and Ziggler when Ziggler dropped repeated elbow drops. And of course, Lawler had suffered a heart attack on Raw shortly after that. Ziggler said Lawler blamed him for his heart attack, and he should have. Ziggler said if Lawler doesn't finish with these questions, then Ziggler is going to finish what he started 4 years ago. And that started to piss off Lawler, and Lawler said, "No matter how many times you change your attitude, you will always be a loser." And that prompted Ziggler to hit a super kick that knocked down Lawler. JBL went to check on Lawler, not gracefully. He kind of biffed it.
I like how they called him out on it afterwards.
Yeah, Otunga did, yeah. But Matt, I thought I didn't know what to expect this going in. I thought this might have been a mass segment. To me, I thought the intensity in the conversation was great, and then of course they kind of upped it a notch with the heart attack thing to further put heat on Ziggler. I enjoyed King's Court. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it was solid. I mean, it did what they wanted to do. They want to put over Dolph Ziggler as a heel jerk scumbag, and I feel like that's exactly what they did with the segment. And I saw a lot of people on social media had a problem with it as it was being done. But to them, I say, dude, you're in Lawler's hometown of Memphis. If Lawler didn't want to do it, it wouldn't have been done.
What were they having a problem with?
Just the touching of the heart attack shit. They didn't like people didn't like it. Yeah, but I just like I said, I feel like if he didn't want it done, it wouldn't have been done. So
Lawler's been in the business for 40 years.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, yeah.
He knows that things like this sometimes need to be brought up to help get things over, So I was fine with it.
SmackDown touches on a lot more personal issues that triggers debate than what you get off of Raw. It's like SmackDown is a much more adult-based storyline progress show than what Raw is on Monday nights.
SmackDown is a pro wrestling show. Raw is an after-school special.
Yes, I saw your tweet earlier this week. I laughed.
That is, in a nutshell, what it is. I mean, come on. Main event match, first ever. I guess the SmackDown Women's Championship hasn't been around for long, but first ever steel cage match. Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch. I think second ever steel cage match. Not. I think they said Victoria.
And I think Victoria and Lita.
Lita
had one. I think it was Victoria and Lita.
What'd you think of the main event, Matt?
Oh, I thought it was great. And I already kind of knew the finish before it happened.
Yeah.
So it's not like it blindsided me or anything.
It didn't take away from the moment.
No. And, it definitely continues Becky's chase back to the championship because it's clear she's going to have a detour now in Mickie James.
Yeah. As we had speculated, Mickie James is La Luchadora. They kind of beat down the women's champion. Spin kick to the face by La Luchadora, and Bliss hit the snap DDT to get the win. But some great action for a steel cage match. Your typical elements of a steel cage match, trying to escape the cage and stuff like that. I thought Lynch and Bliss did a great job of that. I thought it was phenomenal. It goes to show the women can do exactly the same things the men can do in terms of matches, and that's why I hope that we get a Money in the Bank women's ladder match.
Would be pretty cool.
Afterwards, Lynch kind of got into it with La Luchadora and pulled off the mask. And hello, Mickie James, how you been? And then Mickie and Alexa do the double team before Mickie James holds up Alexa Bliss's hand in celebration as Alexa Bliss continues to be your SmackDown Women's Champion. So, not much to complain about on SmackDown at all this week, huh?
As is normal the case.
All right, we are wrapping up the show with my WrestleMania card. This we covered Matt's predicted WrestleMania card. I added a couple of matches basically just because of the developments on SmackDown this week. I added a couple of matches to the card, so I have a feeling a couple of these matches I added might be pre-show. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I agree with Matt for the World Championship. I think ever since Miz TV, I think it's been set up that it's going to be The Miz versus AJ Styles, and Matt agrees, correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely the match I want to see for the world title. Will we get it? I don't know, but
now the Miz,
that's what I'm hoping to see.
The Miz didn't win the title at WrestleMania. He defended it against Cena, right?
Correct.
Because Miz won it on.
He defended it against Cena. He cashed in Money in the Bank on Randy Orton.
Yeah. So I'd like to see The Miz get a WrestleMania moment and win it over AJ Styles. I think that would be...
He's not going to win.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't know.
No. You're bonkers, dude.
My Universal title match is going to be champion versus champion. Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho. I thought about it after Raw this week. I saw something on Raw. I'm seeing hints that I keep thinking it's gonna be Jericho winning the Rumble. Either winning the Rumble or a SmackDown guy wins the Rumble, which would be The Miz in this case. I don't know. I just keep seeing hints, Matt, that it's gonna be Jericho and Owens. I just do.
I don't want it at all. I really don't.
Two guys that might hate each other in real life. They definitely hate each other in the wrestling life. I figured it would be a good pair up at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship, Matt. I got Dean Ambrose and John Cena.
I don't see that happening.
I had to put a place for John Cena, and I know these guys have had that little heated exchange of words. They've never really had a feud, though. There was always that triple threat with AJ Styles in it. So I kind of thought maybe John Cena, Dean Ambrose be a good feud for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. The Raw Tag Team Championships, I'm going to go... I'm 50-50 on this being a fatal four-way, but right now I'm just going to go Enzo and Cass versus Gallows and Anderson, and the rest of the tag teams are in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
I'm fine with that. I didn't even book the tag matches just because the divisions are so weird right now. And
I have a good feeling that, plus you never know who's going to get the call up beforehand. Maybe the Revival gets a call up in February, and who knows. I don't know if there's going to be any new teams anytime soon, but I don't know. But I think Gallows and Anderson win at the Rumble and sets up a feud with Enzo and Cass all the way to WrestleMania. I said this last week while we were running down Matt's card for the SmackDown Tag Championships. American Alpha versus the Usos. I think that makes the most sense right now. Raw Women's Championship. I've got a fatal four-way: Charlotte, Bayley, Nia Jax, and Sasha Banks. For the SmackDown Raw, the SmackDown Women's Championship, I agree with Matt. I think this is all setting up for Alexa Bliss and Nikki Bella.
Yeah, they're keeping her busy until then.
And I agree. The ladder match is going to be for the cruiserweights. I think 8 guys might be. I was thinking of the personnel, and I didn't want to leave some of these guys out, so I thought maybe 8 would be perfect with Rich Swann, Neville, Jack Gallagher, Brian Kendrick, Akira Tozawa, Cedric Alexander, Tony Nese, and TJ Perkins. You could take out maybe TJ Perkins and Tony Nese. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you could have a cruiserweight. Also have a cruiserweight match in the kickoff show too.
I think somewhere between 6 and 8 works.
Yeah. I mean, the kickoff show is going to be 8 hours, I think. So. Of course, you have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Do you have any gut feelings this early out who you think would be a good winner? Like, not who's going to win, but who would be a good winner?
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe, yeah. Apollo Crews, maybe.
So he could use the help right now.
Yeah. Seth Rollins, Triple H. Dummy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't think that's not happening,
This is a wish.
I'm guessing Triple H will be in the Rumble and will eliminate Rollins, or just
That
something along those lines.
that'd be cool because we haven't seen Triple H in forever. So the first time
I
we see
really
him,
thought we were gonna see. I really thought we were gonna see him on Monday,
yeah.
especially
But
since he tweeted that he was heading to Raw after the UK tournament, and Rollins retweeted it and said, "Interesting." ... And I'm like, all right, so we're finally going to get this confrontation between these guys leading into the Rumble. And nothing. So I feel like the Rumble's where that has to happen.
mm-hmm.
And we'll just see what goes from there.
I figured if he's not in it, he's still going to cost Rollins regardless. He'll just show up. But that would be cool to. We haven't seen Triple H in forever, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the game starts. The music plays. Motorhead kicks in. I think it'd be a cool moment.
Yeah, I mean he did it last year, won the title.
Yeah, it's what the Rumble's built. It's what the Rumble's built on, man. Stuff for moments like that. This is probably more of a dream, but I'm hoping Rusev versus Kurt Angle.
Yeah, it certainly would be nice.
It's a dream.
I'm not holding my breath.
Of course, Shaq and the Big Show. I think these next two matches might be kind of kickoff matches. I think Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton might be a kickoff match. Becky Lynch, Mickie James might be a kickoff match just because of the women. We so many matches. Somebody's got to be on the kickoff. So, I mean, sure as hell ain't gonna have Triple H and Seth Rollins on the kickoff show, are we?
You would certainly think not.
Two more matches I have on the card, Matt. Undertaker and Baron Corbin.
You're out of your damn mind.
I could see Baron Corbin picking a fight with the dead man.
If Baron Corbin was fighting the Undertaker, there would have been no reason for the Undertaker to be on Raw last week. They would have just continued to him to be on the blue brand. That's not happening. Whoever Undertaker faces at WrestleMania will be from Raw.
You think so?
Yes.
God, that whole I'm a SmackDown guy. I don't know.
Yes, man. And then he showed up on Raw for absolutely no reason.
Just to announce he was in the Rumble.
Yeah, so once he showed up on Raw, to me, that was clear that whoever Undertaker faces at WrestleMania is going to be from Raw. And I still think it's going to be Braun Strowman.
And my final match, this is probably the most far out one that won't happen, but I kind of thought maybe this could be something that stemmed from the Rumble. And I like to call this the Vince masturbation special, Matt.
God.
Fatal 4-Way winner gets a Universal title shot at the next pay-per-view. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, and Goldberg.
Oh my God. What are you trying to subject us to?
Yeah. Just a thought. It was a thought. Trying to put people in places. I thought.
So I propose this question to you then, since you didn't book him. What the hell's Finn Balor doing at WrestleMania?
I don't know. That's the thing. I didn't book him because we don't know if he's back yet or not. Hopefully he's back, but you don't know.
There's no question he's back for WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
The question is he back for the Royal Rumble? Like every single timeline has him back well ahead of time for WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't know where to put him because I don't know if he'll be back for the Rumble. If he's back for the Rumble, he probably is going to win it. Then that changes the whole card. But I just kind of
said I still have him winning the Rumble.
I base this on what we know now is what I'm basing this on. So, would I want him to be in the Rumble? Fuck yeah. Would I like to see Owens and Balor main event WrestleMania? Fuck yeah. So I'm hoping, but I'm just going with what I know now. And, I don't know where to put him. I mean, if he shows up in February or March, I don't know where to put him. It's hard to tell. I don't know. A dream match would be, like, God, what was it? What was that match? Was Ziggler or something? It was like it was two faces that faced each other, and they did it at WrestleMania just for the sake of having a good match. You remember that? I can't remember who it was off the top of my head though.
I don't remember.
Something like that with Finn Balor and Sami Zayn would be, it'd be kind of cool.
Like I said, yeah, you don't have Zayn on the card either, and I had Zayn facing Jericho for the United States Championship.
Yeah, I right now I would have Zayn in the Battle Royal because
that's such a shit place to put him.
Well, look at where the WWE's put him so far.
He main evented Raw.
Well, yeah. Lots of people main evented Raw, so.
Dick thing to say, sir.
A true thing to
Dick
say,
thing
sir.
To say.
True. It's true. It's damn true. So what do you think of my card? Not bad? Okay?
It leaves a lot to be desired. Not as badly. It's not as badly as I was expecting it to be. I really and truly thought you were going to throw some things on there to make me want to put my head through a wall.
What were you thinking?
I don't know. I don't, dude. I don't. All I knew is I was coming in expecting some ridiculousness, and you kind of gave it to me with that 4-way at the end.
Yeah.
But it's not nearly as bad as I thought you were going to do. So, because sometimes I think you purposely just say things to get me riled up.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I guess so.
Yeah.
No, this is a tried and true effort that I put into it. I thought there would be some kind of like with those 4 guys that they all cost each other in the Rumble somehow, and that the feud spills over and eventually leads to this at WrestleMania. This was kind of my background thinking on the whole thing. So, because you and I both are in agreement, we don't want to see Lesnar Goldberg. I personally would love to see Reigns and Goldberg. Where does that put Lesnar? I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, then where do you put Brock?
Would you like an Undertaker rematch with Brock? Where Brock? No, yeah, they've already done it a couple of times. Yeah.
If you were forcing that down my throat, if I absolutely had to see the Undertaker and Lesnar one more time, it would be in New Orleans for WrestleMania 34. It would be Undertaker wanting to right the wrong to end his career. He ends it in New Orleans, win or lose, and he faces Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and he goes out with a win. That's the only way I'd want to see Taker and Lesnar again.
Would you be interested in a Strowman Lesnar match at all?
Yes, I would. After Monday, I think it would be pretty cool.
Yeah, you split the Fatal 4-Way up and have Goldberg and Reigns.
Honestly, I'd rather have that. I'd rather have Goldberg and Reigns and Lesnar and Strowman, to be perfectly honest with you.
I don't want Strowman Taker, but I'm more receptive to it this year than I was last year, for sure.
Progress, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we both like Strowman now.
Strowman.
It's funny how the Cena Taker talk was like skyrocketing all the way up until like about a month ago.
Up until the Undertaker showed up on Raw.
Yeah.
And it all got thrown out the window. Apparently, from what I've heard, Vince changed his mind. Who's shocked?
Nobody.
Vince changing his mind. Yeah, I've never heard that done before.
Yeah. So I basically just put that together in a world where we don't know if Finn Balor's going to return or not, but I would love for him to return.
I know Finn will be at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
My question is, will Finn be in the Royal Rumble? And I'm still, look, I said this when he got hurt, so I'm just sticking with it, and I'm riding the wave until they prove me otherwise, and I'm saying that Finn Balor will return at the Royal Rumble, and he will win.
I mean, remember the video you talked about with the little kid last week?
Yeah, you picked him up. And he was also at the UK tournament over the weekend.
Yeah.
The first night he was sitting in the crowd, and the second night he came out in the rain and got a promo. Just putting over the UK and the talent and everything. And he looked fine. I really and truly believe that he's ready to go. but they're not going to tell us that. That's part of the surprise, and I get that. Um, I would be very surprised if he's not in the Rumble. I really, really would be. I feel like he's going to be in there. He's going to be like number 27 or 28, and he's going to win the whole. And he's going to win the whole thing. So he's going to be a late entrant. He's going to be a surprise. People are going to mark out. And he's going to throw out some big name at the end, and go on to go on to Mania. Maybe he throws out Undertaker. I don't know.
God, could you imagine the Demon and the Dead Man?
Undertaker, Finn Balor stare down.
Oh,
there's also been people that have pitched the Demon versus the Phenom in Orlando.
I would love it.
Which I would be okay with, but I don't. I have mixed feelings on that, because I sure as hell don't want to see Balor come back and lose at his first WrestleMania.
You don't want to see
Taker's, but if it's Taker's last WrestleMania, I don't want to see him lose either. Yeah. So I'd be really going into that match. Like, for the spectacle of the entrances, I would believe it would be amazing. But I'd be really, like, my stomach would not feel good about thinking of the results for either man winning that match, because I just wouldn't like the retrospect of what happens to the loser.
Who would you like as the number 1 and number 2 guys this year?
I do, honestly. I'd put Rollins in at number 1. I'd bring Triple H out at number 2.
And then they last to like the final 4.
Well, I don't know if they last that long. But that's definitely what I would do.
Of course, Triple H did that in 2006 with a guy by the name of Rey Mysterio. Lasted over an hour. They both lasted over an hour. I think Triple H and Seth Rollins. Yeah, Seth Rollins coming out first, and that's almost like that could be a setup by Steph too, where
that's what I mean. Like it's a complete setup. She puts him in at number 1, and number 2 is her husband to try to take care of him. I mean, who knows? That's just you asking me on the spot. That's just something I'm throwing out there. I it would be really cool if they did it, and I don't think they would, because I don't think either guy could go that long. But I'd love to see Goldberg and Lesnar start 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then then they're just like, every time somebody gets in the ring, they just grab him and toss him out, because they want to be brawling with each other. And they thin the herd of the Job Squad in like the first 10 entrances or whatever. Like
number 3 is Darren Young.
Yeah, I hear I heard he got injured this week. So
yeah, I did too. I didn't know how bad it was, but I guess they did that to stop the match, didn't they?
Yeah. So I mean, but I mean, you throw out just some guy that you can easily, like one of the shining stars or whatever, and they toss him out 5 rows into the crowd or something. I don't know. There's stuff there's definitely stuff they could do. With the first 2 people, but I don't know what I don't know what their plan's gonna be. For all we know, Taker's in the first 2. So we're a week and a half away. So shit's about to get real, dog.
What outside of Nakamura and Joe and probably Ty Dillinger, any debuts or surprises that you would like to see?
There's really no one I can think of outside those names, unless you're going to throw Kurt Angle in there.
Yeah.
I really can't think of any true huge signing surprises that they could bring in there and get the reaction that AJ Styles got last year, because they can't do it with Kenny Omega like everybody wants to, because even if he does sign, he's still under a New Japan contract on the date of the Rumble. So that's just not happening. And New Japan is not going to play ball and say, hey, we'll let you out 2 days early so you can go do the Royal Rumble. They're not going to do that.
No.
Yeah, they're already going to be annoyed enough at the fact that they're losing him. Yeah. So.
Well, if you didn't want to lose him.
Yeah, you could have given him the title.
Dummy, yeah. What do you think? You think we might get Bully Ray?
That would be nice, especially since Devon's still working there. They could bring Bully Ray back as a singles guy, have Velvet as his manager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that if they wanted to go that route. I mean, I don't know if that's their plan, but I wouldn't mind that.
Any legends you'd like to see make a return? Like, remember, DDP was great last year.
Yeah, I mean, I nobody I can really think of off the top of my head. I always like the legend entrance spot, but I like off the top of my head of who I would like to see. I really don't know. I feel like almost every single one that I would have liked to see at some point has been done.
It's been done, yeah.
So I'm not really sure who they bring in. I'm sure whoever it is, I'd enjoy the nostalgia of it, but I'm sure as heck not picking them to come in and win the Royal Rumble or anything.
Hulk Hogan, brother.
Yeah, dude, I don't think, honest to God, I don't think his body could take a top over the top rope.
No, it'd be like
I would love to see him in the Rumble. But I really don't think he could take it. I don't think he could take an over the top rope bump.
It'd be like over the top rope to the apron, and then like a slow crumble onto the floor.
Yeah, like if the reason Iron Sheik won the Legend gimmick battle royal back in like WrestleMania 17 or 18 or whatever it was,
yeah,
because they were too terrified to have him take a bump over the top rope.
Yeah,
and they figured it was just easier to let him win and put him in there than risk him getting hurt.
And Sheik was like, fuck you, the McMahon. I know they know, so I will win it. I'll be in. That's going to do it for this edition of Lost the Midcard. Next week, we will we'll have our TakeOver and Rumble previews and prediction special, and let you know who we think is going to win those matches that are going to fill out the cards on those two nights. Matt, you enjoying the TakeOver card shape up so far? Obviously, the main event's going to be killer.
Yeah, the main event's killer. I like the women's match. The tag match is the tag title match is okay. Right now it's shaping up to be top to bottom one of the weaker NXT takeovers we've had. But the top of the card seems to be the really heavy and good and should carry the rest of the show.
Roddy and Almas might surprise too.
I don't like Almas. I don't.
Yeah, he's good in the ring though. I mean,
he's all right.
It's all right. Thanks to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you got to do is just search for Lost in the Midcard, and you'll find us. Hit that subscribe button, and you'll know every time a new episode comes your way. Every Thursday and also Mondays after a WWE pay-per-view. We're also on the YouTube, and you can subscribe to us there as well and get notified when the new episodes come your way. And we're on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost the Midcard. We're also on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast. Matt's on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. I'm on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we ride off into that sunset, Matt, any final thoughts?
Really hoping the Royal Rumble lives up to the hype this year, because the last few years have been a letdown. The Royal Rumble goes a long way into getting you excited about WrestleMania season. So I'm really hoping they do it right this year.
For sure. I think Monday's going to be a lot of fun, explosive, with all the bodies that'll probably be in the arena on Raw and SmackDown. So can't wait to watch those and break them down for you next week. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard. We'll be back at you next week.